qu'on fait? So welcome to everyone. Does that work, or you hear me? Is that fine? So thank you so much for coming. We're so happy to welcome you in Paris. Yeah, I hear the microphone, so it seems a big assembly, so that's a pretty wide thing. So thank you to all of you, and we're so happy to see you today. We've got a number of guests with us that will, who we will discuss different things around Paris, and the topic today is really to focus on new things, new topics, hot topics, what's happening in Paris, how the city has changed, what you can discover, and I know you would have some tours tomorrow. We will talk about that at the end of the presentation, so most of you will have the opportunity of discovering the things that we will present today. But we also welcome about 50 customers today, corporate agencies from worldwide, but we also have about 150% connected people from remote access, which is the new fashion thing. So we're happy to welcome them also. So for those who are remote, actually, you can, of course, ask your questions. So you can't take your microphone on, but you can ask your questions in the chat. So do not hesitate, and someone from my team will make will talk to me to tell me what the questions are and if we can answer that. So no problem. And for those who are in the room, do not hesitate to raise your hand or whatever, just to take the word if you want to ask anything, because the purpose here is really to have also an open discussion about different things. So our guests will be very happy also to answer all your questions about that. We're happy to see you today because after these 2 years, sorry, I think it's not, I think I've been too far away, but no. Okay, sorry about that. This is really the opportunity of focusing on different things that the city has improved during these 2 years, after these 2 years which were very complicated for all of us. But the city still evolves, still change on some things. So we will focus definitely on sustainability with a roundtable also. I will present our guests later on gastronomy and food and everything about the short circuit and the urban agriculture that we have actually in Paris and the region. On culture, obviously, because it's one of the main topics of the visit to come here. And of course, we can't avoid talking about sports. So we will welcome some guests about esports, but of course, before the Olympics, we will talk definitely about that. And this is also a way of presenting you some new venues, new things, because it's important also that you see everything has changed. And these Olympics are also an accelerator of change here. So that's important also to share that with you. So no problem for that. We will talk about urban culture. We will talk also Paris Local, and of course, 2024. But as we say, and before going further, Paris is always a good idea, as someone very famous said, and we want to share our lifestyle with you. So please have this video. So as you can see, Paris is definitely the place to be, the hottest place to be actually. So we're very happy to share this lifestyle also with you. You know that usually in normal years, I would say, so back to probably 2022 or 23, hopefully, we usually welcome about 50 million of visitors in the region. So that's an amount which is very important. 50% of them are really focused on business. So business and the MICE industry is very key for us. It's nearly 50% of our economy in touristic environment. So very important, of course. And we welcome about 450 trade shows each year, more than 1,000 congresses, which is very important in terms also of numbers of people coming for that. But also, I don't know if you know these numbers, but an amazing numbers of corporate events. Of course, you know about yours, but we're welcoming about 110,000 events a year, all sizes. So that's very important for us, and definitely we're happy to focus on that also today with you all. And so a quick word about infrastructure and what we have in Paris. So you know everything about what we have, so I won't review it too long, but we have 2,400 hotels, all range of hotels, of course, so we can have some specific pictures of some of them, which are some of them. We have so many new ones, but especially on the luxury segment, like the Cheval Blanc or Madame Rêve or the So Paris, which just opened last week, I think, so a few days, which is important also. But also very well-known lifestyle hotel like Mama Shelter that you know. We have one in Paris West, which is brand new, and we just opened a new one in La Défense. So this is important also for all your events when you're coming to do an event in Paris, because it gives probably a glimpse of a different lifestyle that we can offer with a hotel with that. But also the Novotel Porte de Versailles, which has been also completely refurbished, which is also important. And we also welcome some very large hotels, which are brand new also, like the Pullman Montparnasse, where you're staying, I think, most of you, so you can discover it. Of course, this is the last but not the least. We have so many of them, but this is just an example of what we can offer actually in terms of new hotels in Paris, and where you can also work in terms of convention, congresses, corporate events, and everything. So I think that was important also to share that with you. We also have a very high focus on sustainability. You know everything about that, because the region, Paris, the city, and all actors actually are really working hard on that. These 2 years have been also a way of improving our positioning on that, which was important. So definitely we have, it's our priority, top number one, I would say. And let's have maybe a little video just to show that before entering into details on that. Sorry. So as you can see, the city has changed a lot on that. So if you have, I don't know if you had already the opportunity of going into the different streets and everything into the city, but you may have noticed that we have much more cycle lanes and biking people just around everywhere. So we are about 300, more than 300 kilometers of bike lanes, with a goal of more than approximately 1,000 kilometers cycle lanes before 2024, which is quite amazing. And what's interesting also, it's not only center Paris, it's really also linking with the other territories, with the Greater Paris and the region itself, which is important also to discover the best way for city, actually. So this is important. We have some very many activities which are very focused on sustainability, and I think which we have to quote about that is really the commitment of all professionals working together with us at the city level, but also at the region level, just working on sustainability on that and trying to find some new type of activities also for your events and business events like team buildings and things like that. You will experiment some of them, but that's interesting also how it changed probably the shape of these activities. So you have some example there that honestly it's moving every day. We have some new hot topics every day, so we will be very happy to share that with you. But I think this is really key also in the improvement of the city on its focus. The other thing which is very interesting also is everything that has been done in terms of transportation and transfers. So you will also taste it, but we have electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, even the taxis are really hybrid and electric. You know, we have a mayor which is very committed on that, with some changes before 2024, with the interdiction for the vehicles who are not sustainable for that. So this is really a commitment we're all behind, and we all work on that. So that's also something important also for the values probably of the companies when you do an event, because you want to share the same values. And what's the best if you don't have a city which is carrying the same values that you want. So this is really important also. And we've got also to underline the effort of the venues in Paris, because we've got quite a lot of venues, you can see them on the screen, but that have really moved to ISO 20121, which is a barbarous name, but numbers, but which is very important also in terms of sustainability. This is the case also for here. We're very committed to focus on every detail on that, and to be sure that we're the most sustainable possible, and make sure that we do our best effort to go in this way. So I think this is also important for you to know about the different venues that we can have. So thank you, by the way, thank you to Chateau Forme for hosting this event. And Chateau Forme is a very well-known company here, and very focusing on that also. That's why also we choose that. So that's important. So we're going to welcome our first guest. So maybe to talk about sustainability, welcome Benjamin Durand, who is the communication director of the Good Planet Foundation. So please come and join me. Thank you. And so I think you've done quite a lot of things in agencies, so maybe you can share your thoughts also with our fellows here. And you're passionate about talking about climate and environmental issues, so I'm pretty sure that's why you joined the foundation.
Exactly.
But it's very new. You just arrived at the foundation.
Yeah, actually arrived 3 weeks ago.
So, but just before giving you the word and talk about different things, let's see a little video about the sustainability and the other things that we have in Paris. Sure, you haven't seen Paris as green as it is now, so this is interesting also. So thank you for joining, and maybe you can talk about a little about the story of the foundation and what was the purpose, where it is, and things like that. Please share.
Sure. So that's the Domaine de Longchamp, and actually, so we are the Good Planet Foundation in this amazing place, as you can see, since 2017 now. So it's been 5 years. But before that, actually, we are an NGO. Do you hear me well? Yeah. We are an NGO who was built in 2005 by a guy called Yann Arthus Bertrand. I don't know if you all know him. He's a French photographer, filmmaker, activist, very dedicated to environmental issues. And he founded this NGO with two purposes. The first one was to raise awareness on environmental issues. And the second one was to take actions, concrete actions on the fields. And that's actually still really what we do, but there, in the Domaine de Longchamp. And that's actually quite interesting to have in mind because we partnered with Paris Society, partner dedicated in events planning. And so when you come to an event in Domaine de Longchamp, you really do your events, but you really feel the DNA of the NGO, and we really have at the art that you experiment what we do, so all this raising awareness on environmental issues.
And so what is included in the ecosystem of foundation? You have a restaurant with Paris Society, is that it? A park?
So we have lots of things. We have,
plantations?
We have 3 hectares of park, exactly. We have like a botanic garden with permaculture. We have a school that we call the Good Planet School. Actually, that's where we do all our workshops. So you can do trainings, workshops, cooking class to know how to cook vegan, how to cook with vegetable and local food, things like that. So very simple yet yummy recipe.
Is it something that you decline in team building and corporate activities, for example?
Exactly. So the idea is that when you come at the foundation, even if it's for corporate events and that you're not seeking for something green, we have at art that you actually experiment what we do and that you leave the foundation or your event with something that you didn't know before, even if it's a cooking class or something else.
Yeah, and I heard when we prepared that, I think what was really interesting and very different from maybe what we hear in some other places is really the call to action that you have. That means really make the difference and make people experiment and do something for that.
Exactly. That's basically the whole idea of the foundation at the beginning. Is when you understand what's at stake, when you talk about climate change or biodiversity collapse, then you will have something to take actions, and that's basically what we want to do here. And the idea that companies can come for an event, but we can also accompany them and partner with them in their CSR strategy, in training their team members afterwards. So we really have this A to Z offer, actually.
And why did you choose Paris? Even Yann Arthus Bertrand is a Parisian.
And a Paris lover.
And he loves, yeah, I know. He's an ambassador of our brand Paris Je t'aime, so we know him quite well about that. But
actually, Paris is we could think that big cities are not the places where sustainability can take place, but we think it's quite the opposite. Because it's so big, all the people are there, so it means that lots of brains are there, and so lots of innovations, lots of projects can be undertaken, lots of synergies can be found. So Paris was just the right choice to make.
Thank you, we're happy with that. And maybe to meet more of the daily partners' expectations, because I'm pretty sure you have some, but can you give us some maybe clues of what you're doing actually at the foundation, which it is a call to action and changes things. Like I know you're working with local provider, as you were saying, with the restaurants, but I imagine you do something for waste, things like that. So
yes, exactly. We have a very strict charter with our providers and all the people we work with. So catering is follows a very strict charter. It's actually hard to find people who follow that charter, but all the food is local, seasonal, organic, mostly vegetal, not a lot of meats. And same for all the waste management. We don't use any plastic. Everything is reusable. So we push the button quite far So people also think and realize that it's not that complicated to initiate those things, and so they can replicate them when they go home or within their own companies.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any question or comment or something to share from the audience or from the remote people? I'm just saying Elodie and the other way. So no question. Okay, do you want to add anything?
No.
Thank you for having me. Paris, and thank you so much anyway. I'm pretty sure we will have the opportunity of discussing together with all of you. So thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much. And so after that, after sustainability, and you gave us the envy of going forward, so we will speak about gastronomy, food. Food is a very high priority for Paris. So we absolutely want to focus on that with wine. I won't forget the wine. So it's important for us. We're still recognized for that, and so we want to keep this place. So I will call Frédéric Vardon, a star chef, coming with us, and Pascal Hardy, president of Agropolis and Nature Urbaine, that will share their thoughts with us. And in the meantime,
j'aime beaucoup voyager, m'inspirer, me nourrir. J'aime Paris et j'aime aller au plus à Saint-Ouen. C'est un permanent renouvellement d'antiquités. Je collectionne des bagages anciens, mais aussi des objets insolites. Cela me permet de faire des restaurants, de leur donner un cachet particulier. Je dois avouer qu'un samedi où je vais déjeuner sur le bateau, découvrir les monuments, je ne m'en lasse jamais. Et ensuite, après le déjeuner, aller découvrir ces quelques beaux objets à Saint-Ouen, c'est un bon week-end.
Your former chef, Frédéric.
Yes.
So Alain is also a well-known ambassador of Paris. So he played the role with us, with Ambassador of Paris Je t'aime. So thank you thank you to both of you to join us. And so Frédéric is the owner of a restaurant. I don't know if I can say it in English, but the 39.5, 39.5. 39V. This is not.
Pardon, it's okay.
It's okay. Okay, but it's because it's Avenue Georges V. It's not only for the Vardon thing, but okay. And so I know you're coming from a family of farmers, so we know very well about the earth and products and everything. So you work with the greatest one, with Alain Dutournier, with Alain Dugas, many others, pretty sure of that. And you opened your restaurants in 2010?
Exactly.
Exactly, and so you're a star Michelin chef, recognized. Before. And Pascal, thank you also for being with us. You're the founder of Nature Urbaine and Agropolis, and I know you do a lot of things, so I'm not sure I can tell everything, but, and so you're an engineer at the beginning, and a real entrepreneur, because you created quite a lot of things. So you developed sustainable development consulting activities before with some very well-known cabinet like Capgemini and Sun-Yung. That's it. And then you founded some startup, and then you are very motivated and implicated in think tank working on sustainability and everything. And you created the urban farms recently.
Yeah, 2016.
So
No, 2016. Sorry.
2016. I think it's the biggest one in Europe.
Yeah, Nature Urbaine is the biggest urban farm in Europe.
So
yeah.
I will show some photos. So this is the restaurant from Frédéric, and this is the farm seen from up.
My restaurant is too small.
And so this is important also to have both of you, because we want to talk about products, but just a quick word about urban agriculture. It's about 2% of our territory, actually. I heard that, so I found these figures.
What did you say?
Only 10%.
10, yes.
2%.
Well, 2 permanent persons on site, but during the season it's almost 8 people working on the farm.
Okay, and I think we have in the region itself, we've got 132 vineyards, which is interesting. So not so well known as the other ones, but still. And we have quite a lot of gardens, agriculture, and everything. So this is definitely something we're working on it with the city and the region. So I think this is a focus that we want to share. So Frédéric, maybe you can tell us about the history of the restaurants and what's your focus on the products and how it works. What's What's
Yes,
the
c'est
daily
bon?
thing with that?
Yes, I opened restaurant. It's 10 years before. I think it's a gastronomy from Paris. It's French. It's very important. Okay, and for me, my focus it's a products because if you don't have a best products, we cannot do the best cooking. It's impossible. In my restaurant in Paris, in 1305, this is George V Avenue. It's a 6th floor. We are just a small garden, little small garden with a terrace. You see the kitchen, and we see also the end of the Eiffel Tower. And the philosophy in 1395, I repeat, this is the products, all products. And it is a French cooking, but not old cooking. It's French cooking for the moment, but we respect exactly the culture and the recipe of my father Alain Ducasse, my father Alain Chapelle, my father Alain Dutournier. Okay, this is my story.
Your family.
Oh, it's my family. Yes, I know.
And you're cooking only seasonal product.
Yeah, only seasonal product and 99% French product. That's it. And for me, it's very important to respect not the season, but to respect the product, because the season now it changed a lot. Okay. Yes, because this year the best asparagus is finished 10 of June maximum, okay? And 10 years before, it's finished at the end of July. It's very important to understand that. It is not, for me, the season, okay, is not the problem. The problem is a product. And we work with small farmer every time, and we respect the animal's life. It's very important for me, because when I respect the animal life when it's born and when it's dead, but it's very important to do a very good death. It's very important. Sorry, but it's a life. Sorry, it's a life.
And I know also you defend the products with the Collège Culinaire, so maybe, I don't know if you want to say a word with that?
Yes, I work a lot with productor of Collège Culinaire de France, because this philosophy, for me, it's very important.
Just a quick word about the Culinary College. I'm not sure we can translate like that, but Collège Culinaire, the presidents are Alain Dutournier and Alain Ducasse.
Yes.
It's gathering 3,000 members, actually. I remember when it was created, so...
10 years?
Yeah,
10
maybe
years,
something
10
like that.
10 years.
And so it's a chef, but also restaurateurs, but also producers from all over France. And this is very important also, to gather all these people together so they can do the most of the products and the cooking that we can do. So I know you're a great defender of that. So,
example, for the fish, we don't buy the fish, and à la carte of the 1395, we don't have the name of fish, because this is a durable fish. Today we have perhaps 1 turbot and 2 John Dory and 1 cod. That's it. If we don't have, we don't have. It's no problem.
and do the customers accept that now?
The customer accept that. It's because we explain. Okay, we have just. Today we have just a 10% of turbot. That's it. And after you have 1 for you, and for you have just for 1 John Dory. That's it. It's very, for me, it's not problem. We never serve the strawberry in December. This is no sense.
For the moment, you don't know about the climate. It can change.
Yes, but it's no sense. But it's for me, it's a responsibility of cooker. That it's very important, but the guest it's responsible too, because the guest need to choose the restaurant in Make Do. Sorry for my English.
Working on that. So are you buying some products from you? So
I
I know,
hope to.
Pascal, that you're delivering products to some local restaurants around the place. So maybe you can explain also the historics of a urban farm, how you came to this idea, and what's the story, and your purpose with that.
Yeah, we provide some restaurants, including one run by a three-star chef, but not yours yet. Sorry.
Tomorrow.
Okay. I would say what's at the center of the project is not by doing these urban farms, not just to do what is done elsewhere on the countryside. The idea is not just to bring these farms in the city. It would have no sense. It's the heart of the project is producing things that we can be proud of in terms of environment, in terms of producing methods, using no pesticides, no chemicals, using insects to fight other insects, edible products that we can use to fight other diseases, things like that. And to find some outputs for these products that we are proud of also, like your restaurant, because they care about the product and they care about the way these are produced. As you mentioned, I'm an agronomic engineer at the origin, but I've been working a lot on sustainability and environment. And we try to integrate all the to accept and integrate all the externalities we have and to minimize them, okay? So we do not push elsewhere all the constraints, that's just the contrary. And the result of that is the quality of the products, but those who will visit tomorrow will taste. So you will have to say, because you cannot say, okay, it's good. It doesn't mean nothing if you cannot taste, so you will see. And also, it's time to measure results, because we know all what's happening with climate and things like that. So now it's time to measure. And that's why we will be we are measuring all what we do, and we will be, that's the news of the day, the first urban farm in the world to issue a carbon compensation certificate, because we do our best to integrate and minimize all the impacts, including our producing systems. You have to stop me or I will be talking for hours, okay?
Okay. No, I was going to ask, was it, what was the role of a city with you when you...
In the story, sorry, I forgot your
it's
first question. That's a very good one, because
that's important also in the policy of the global city. So
yes, and we had the luck to have a municipality and a mayor that is very much concerned about this. This building you see is one of the buildings of the Expo Park, okay? And it was rebuilt in 2019 from two old buildings that were destroyed. Originally, there should have been some grass on the top and some concrete, and that's it. And the municipality said no, because they own the land of this part of Paris. They said, no, we want an urban farm. So that was the sparkling point. And then we came, because we won the contest for this, and having this project of producing 4 supermarkets, 4 hotels, 4 restaurants, as you mentioned, but also, of course, for people in the area. And these places you see on the first row here are places where people of the area come and cultivate. So if you go there on Wednesdays, on Saturdays, you have families, kids, and they just cultivate by themselves, which is might sound strange for people coming from London or other green city, but Paris is a very dense city, and many people don't have a balcony or a garden, and that's that's something to breathe in the area.
And I love that part, and I would say this is something which is very amazing about that, because it's this capacity of the buildings actually, and you will see that with other buildings, but to be opened on the city, to be opened for residents also. So it's not only one activity, but it's a multi-activities, and this is really interesting to see that evolution also for this part, because it's the exhibition park of Viparis that you all know about. You've been to exhibition, trade shows, congresses, or whatever, but now you can also have a cultivate space if you want. So that's amazing for that.
And we're also on a swimming pool in Paris, on a hotel in Boulogne, close to Paris, and strange places like this. And you see urban gardens popping up everywhere.
And what about the mice industry in that? So maybe for you, Frédéric and Pascal, what's your feeling about mice, even groups, when you welcome groups at the restaurant? Is it different? Is it the same thing now? How do you deal with them?
No, I don't change. It's the same philosophy.
So if you want some turbot, you can't
yes,
have it.
if I serve the
No
turbo
way.
for the private guest, I serve the turbo for the mice group. It's no problem. But the 1305, it's small restaurant, and the capacity for the cocktail, it's 20 to 118. Sorry, to 120. Because we have a terrace and it's raining, it's impossible to use the terrace. That's it. And for the dinner or lunchtime, maximum 50, 60 people. That's it. But we don't change the philosophy. It's the same menu, same products, same cooking, same wine. No problem.
Pascal?
Yeah, on our side we have some special ways to... Oh, sorry. You wanted to ask a question?
Surprise.
No, it's not a surprise. But when the guests they want the menu, we set the philosophy of the menu. And 2 days or 3 days before, okay, because we know, for example, we know the turbot for the moment, it's no problem. Okay, if the menu, they don't have the turbot, we call the people, said, okay, for your menu, when you arrive, when 2 days, this menu is that. Okay. So it's shorter. Yes, it's very short because it's impossible for us. Because if I said, okay, I cook the lamb, okay, in January, okay, it's no problem. But if I want a lamb in January, I need to buy in Ireland. It's very good, but I don't want that.
We have a question online asking about if you can repeat the name and the address of your restaurant. I will also post it on the live chat.
Yeah, post it on the chat. It's the 39V, we said.
39V and 39 George V Avenue.
Pascal, you wanted to react on that, I think.
Yeah, and the way we welcome guests from abroad. You have a picture here of our greenhouse for events. So this is configured for workshops. I guess it's a do-it-yourself workshop. And we do a lot of events in this greenhouse, and also team buildings and things like that outside, about cultivation, about food, about climate also, and visits with tasting sessions of other products. So that's our way to welcome guests.
And you told me about compensation. So I think you looking at something about carbon compensation for the groups.
Yeah, that's what I said before. We emit a carbon compensation certificate based on the difference between our emissions and conventional food emissions. Yeah.
Is there any other question? Yeah. Sorry for the microphone, but it's better.
Sorry, I did not introduce myself before. I'm Johanna with Ecomice from Germany, and we look after new supply chains for events in a generic way, adding experiences, adding adding learning to face the challenges. I have a specific case that I want to ask you, Pascal. I came across your canebo, what is it called, the plantings that you do in the workshop? Sorry.
Kokedama? Yeah.
Sorry, I can't.
What is it?
Seem not to remember that word. It's a system, you will explain better. It's a system of planting in a very little space and in a very sustainable way.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, that's the first question is, yes, what is it exactly? And the second is, can you scale that? Could you use that, for example, for venues, to plant herbs in the venues that are used in the kitchen there?
Yeah, we can do that, and we have a whole catalog of workshops, something like 15 or 20 different workshops. Kokedama is not French, it's a Japanese technique to plant, having plants without a pot, without, okay? And the Kokedama is hang, and you use, how do you say mousse? In mousse, okay? To pack the whole thing, okay? And we have someone who is trained, and we have people teaching this technique, just like we have other workshops to teach how to take care of your garden or things like that. So I won't do the workshop now or describe, but if you are interested, I can send you the description of the content of the workshop if you want. Yeah.
We will.
Okay.
We will share all details about that.
Yeah, and yeah, we can share these workshop.
A last question, maybe, or any comments or word of conclusion that you want to add?
Welcome in Paris.
Thank you, Frédéric. We're going to come to your restaurants anyway. So.
Yeah, maybe one thing. I'll try to be short.
Of course.
Short, okay?
No problem.
I'll be short. So
It's
I
a
promise.
convivial format, so we share.
Because it's important. We do not do this just for pleasure or business. We are learning this. And one of the big lessons of what we did since 5 years on other farms and 2 years on this farm is that the quality of the food we have, of course, depends on the way it is produced or the system, but not only. And it mostly depends on the technique you use. I take just one example. You can do fantastic things from soil in the countryside, but you can do ugly. You can do shit, okay, with soil. It's the same with these vertical systems. You can do shit, and you can do fantastic things using the proper techniques, not capturing the pollution, etc., etc. And that's one of the lessons. The care to the product, the techniques we use, the inputs you use, make the quality of the product, and that's a satisfaction for us.
Pretty sure that your commitment and love for the product changes everything. So.
I just watched
both
them.
of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so after gastronomy, of course, culture. So Josie, please come and join. But you know we are a city of culture, obviously. So we've got more than 2,000 monuments to be visited, 33 cabarets for the night thing, 132 museums. So we're quite a huge capital of culture, but no one talked about that. So it's the first topic probably of the visit for most of the tourists that are coming. For example, the Louvre gathers nearly 10 million of visitors in a normal year, I would say. 2 million people at the Eiffel Tower. So it's very important, but culture has to be renewed also. So it can be also very innovative. And this is the first example before entering the discussion with Josie. love visiting Notre Dame. I think it's a content, pretty amazing content. So, so it can be innovative. So we can do some very innovative stuff with the monument and patrimoine and everything, so history. So Josie, you're the Director of Economic Development of the Centre des Monuments Nationaux, which is
a new economic development director.
And it's
1 month.
Yeah, exactly. You just arrived. So, but she was in the culture before. So
yeah,
she was in the culture before, and she was working at Paris Musée. So you've been working there for a few years, so you know quite well about the cultural environment of Paris. And so one of the goals of your job today is also improving attendance and finding new resources, new ways of attracting people. So innovation is at the heart of your daily work, I imagine, for that. So
ticketing, workshops.
Exactly. Can you tell us maybe at the Centre des Monuments Nationaux, just the portfolio of it, because it's quite amazing. So it's quite a number of monuments and locations around the France.
Around the France, yeah. We manage more than 100 monuments, included 18 UNESCO World Heritage monuments, like the Abbey of the Mont Saint-Michel, yeah, or the Conciergerie in Paris, and it's the Hotel de la Marine.
Yeah, we're going to focus on that. So.
And our monuments are located throughout France, and maybe you have the map of our monuments.
No,
okay.
We will share that.
In regions, we manage the city of Carcassonne, the site of Carnac. Do you know? And on the Côte d'Azur, the Villa Kerylos. It's an ancient Greek residence, and some every.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of them.
Several.
So in Paris, we wanted to focus on Hotel de la Marine, which recently opened 1 year, maybe, or something like that. Not even 1 year, I think.
1 year, 2021.
And so, what's special about it probably is the link between this history of the monument, which is absolutely amazing, on the Place de la Concorde. Some of you will have the pleasure to visit it tomorrow. But it's the link also with everything about innovation that you put into it, because it's a very new way, immersive way of visiting it, a new center of life opened in the city. So
it's a place of life, it's a place of culture. The Hotel de la Marine was during a very long time storage office, a garde-meuble.
Furniture storage.
A royal storage office, yeah. And after he was occupied by the Ministry of the Army, the French Army. And now the aim was to restore the edifice and give visitors an experience of the storage office, this garde-meuble, as it was during the era with the building was built in the 18th century.
And so now there are some restaurants.
Yeah, two restaurants. And
it's open to the public, even if you don't go to the museum.
Yeah, sure. One a bookshop. So, and we have some offices. And in the Hotel de la Marine.
It's a co-working place, in fact, open to companies.
Offices and co-working, the both, and so we reserve as soon a culinary experience, workshop culinary.
And can you tell us maybe about the immersive visit that we have, because this is really brand new, in fact.
Yeah, I know. So it's the Confident. And the confidence is in an innovation, an immersive system who guides the visitors during his visit.
Yeah, it gives you some stories. So when you come to one room and change the room, it changes the music, the environment. You happen to live the reality as you were living in the building, in fact. So you hear some children laugh, for example, or people talking, or when you are in the kitchen, you got the noises of a stove and everything. So that's quite funny, and that's quite impressive because it's very well done. So you go all through the different rooms, and that's very interesting just to see that, because it's a very good combination of innovation and technology with a very historic environment finally.
And so we have two exhibitions with the Altany collection. It's a most prestigious collection in the world of artworks.
And we've chosen also the Hôtel de la Marine because we found that it serves some real great values for the city also of Paris. And we're pretty confident, and I'm pretty convinced that, as I was saying before, but for the MICE industry, this is really key also to have this sort of building and sort of new location, new venues that carry some different values probably, and that are reflecting what we want to do in terms of company. So as an entrepreneur or head of a company, I want something which reflects what I'm looking at. And I think Hôtel de la Marine has this great combination, which is interesting. So
in the center of Paris.
Exactly, and it's very open to the city. And I was talking also with your team about that. But the thing is really open to the public. So it's a real way of life, in fact. Also, it's not only a museum. So it's really something you can live, even if you don't go to the exhibition center.
It's not a museum. It's really a place of culture and a place of life in the town.
Sorry, and you have some other projects, innovative projects for Paris?
Yeah, many.
Still, always.
In Paris, we have the project to the reunification in the Palais de la Cité, with the reunification between the Sainte-Chapelle, the Conciergerie, and the tribunal.
Court.
Court. Yeah. And so we opening a presidential project with the Cité internationale de la langue française in Villers-Cotterêts. It's in 1 hour from Paris and Reims for the Champagne, and so we are waiting the go to the president, the French president, for the opening.
So as you can see, it's another way of showing that we're always changing and always finding some new activities, refurbishing some new monuments. So there is always something to do new in Paris. So thank you, Josie.
Thank you so much.
Any question or? Okay, thank you. So after culture, we're going to finish with sports because it will be the hot topic of the next few years. But before entering the sport itself, we're going to enter the e-sport thing, which is important. So welcome to Vincent Vercelli, head of incubation at level 256. I don't know if you said 256 or 256.
Well, depending on how you was comfortable with.
Okay. And Nicolas Bianco, business development manager of sport and e-sport at Viparis. Can you bring, you're young and strong, so you can maybe bring the chair with you. Great. I was definitely waiting for you guys to do that. So, so e-sport is a very important market actually. So we're going to talk about that. And Paris is definitely wanting to focus on that and positioning itself. So maybe you can give us some figures
Yes,
to make us
some,
dream about this market, which is absolutely
Yes,
amazing?
of course. I don't know if you're familiar with the e-sport industry, but it has been quite in the spotlight the few months just happened thanks to our president who took a commitment on that. And just as a reminder, the e-sport is not a big industry, but what we have to be focused on is the growth between 1 year to another one. The growth is two-digit numbers. So if you take the viewers, it's from 2021 to 2022, it's 8% more. And if you take the market itself, it's 14% growth. So it's quite big since a few years. And for the number itself, if you take the global markets, it's around $1.1 billion, which is not huge, I can agree. But if you take the forecasts, and not only the optimistic forecast, but only the regular one, from now until 2025, it will be 1.8 billion. And if you take the optimistic one, it will be 2.2. So it's doubled the market in 3 years. And another thing important in the esports is not only the market itself, it's how many viewers, how many people are watching esports. And if you take the number of people around the world, it's 500 million people who are declaring being interested in the esports sector.
We have
Same
40, 50 in the rooms, and we've got hundreds of people.
Yes, esports is not only just a few guys in the garage. It's quite huge.
Yeah, and I heard that France is quite a well-known market. Where I heard that we are the 4th country for players, something like that. Fourth. Quatrième?
Yes.
No?
Well,
good teams? No.
Yes. The France is very well known because of the very huge performances on international competition. So it shows, it gives the spotlight to France. And compared to China or US or even a country like in Europe, like Germany, I heard someone from Germany. Yeah, sorry, but France in this sport are way better.
I show the numbers of fans, so that's why we have some
Just kidding.
photos. Look at that. So. Hey. Can you maybe introduce to level 2, 5,
Yes.
6 and just explain, because it's an incubator from the city of Paris?
Yes, Level 256 is an innovation platform from Paris & Co. Paris & Co is the development and economic development and innovation agency of Paris. So our job is to experiment and then help entrepreneurs to develop. And when I say entrepreneurs, it could be startups in the way we think startups, like a company looking for hypergrowth. But it could be also entrepreneurs, I would say normal company, working in the sectors. And the other job we have is to help the entire sector to develop, to professionalize, and to structure itself.
And why Paris? What was the selling point for Paris, for being held in Paris?
Oh, yes, and why do you mean the city of Paris took care of the subjects?
Exactly.
Because I would say 2 points. The first one is that as more and more people are playing video games and watching esports, in France we are talking about 10 million people. Well, to be precise, 9.4 million people are saying that they are interested by esports. It becomes a public policy issue. Because it's like, you like to play football, then you build stadium. You like to watch movies, then you build cinemas. And if you like to play esports, then you have to build arena. You have to help an event organization to build major events. You have to help people holding facilities to hold the events, because the sport has the specificity to be global by itself because it's digital. So the competition is already global, and you have a city like Singapore, or like Los Angeles, or Berlin, or London, who are willing to take our place in the sport markets.
We're not gonna let them. So,
No.
So how Viparis is positioning itself on that? Because you're the leader of the venues and everything, and I know esports is a very high focus for you.
Yeah,
You've been recruited for that, in fact.
Yeah, I've been recruited for that. Hope they did a good choice. I think we began working on the esport market 6 or 7 years, but it really grew last 2 or 3 years, because now it's really strong. Esport market, it's a market that we cannot ignore, because we have a lot to learn from them. You know Viparis, so it's 12 venues, really specialized for exhibition events, congress, as you said, corporate, and even if we see a lot of innovating business like we said before, eSport, it's a great example. We are trying to adapt ourselves for the general public to see this fan engagement is really impressive. We've seen it in Palais des Congrès like in 2021, but also in Carousel du Louvre with less people, like 1,000. But when you see 1,000 people during the live, but 200,000 people on Twitch, it's something really interesting that we have to learn.
Does that change the infrastructure that you're working on? That means technology, I imagine,
It's interesting
issues.
to see that we are trying to change our infrastructure thanks to them. They are changing it when they come because they have a lot of idea. They are the master for innovation. So they change the way to welcome the public, and we are trying to adapt. So thanks to 1, 2, 3 events, we know now, thanks to the project manager, working 1 case, 2 case, how to change. So the most important thing is to adapt ourselves to them in order to be competitive. So it's changing our packages, services packages, for example, internet, which is not always the most important service for an event organizer. For esports clients or esport organizers, it's the heart of it. So we have to adapt, we have to change the way to think, and now we are really happy to have a specific esport tarification and strategy.
And that's a good point for the others because they can take the benefit of your changes. So
yeah, exactly.
So that's good for all of us. And so we've decided to work together on that, creating a sort of task force, I would say. That's the name, in fact. So maybe you can tell a little more about that because I think it's very interesting in terms of way of working collectively on that. And that could be declined on other markets, probably.
Yeah, it was a big issue, and then we are working together, and I'll let you answer to that. But the idea is that, like I said, it's a global competition, and if you are an editor or a major event organization, we friends needed to give a unique answer. We needed to have a transparency and to work all together to answer the demands, because last 2 weeks ago we had an event at Bercy. It's 12,000 people, and there were 50,000 people on the waiting list, and there were 200,000 people viewing live. So some events are so huge. For the people who are organizing it, we needed to be unified and to have a specific answer to any kind of demand and tailor-made demand. So we created a task force, like you said. You could have called that a group of travail. But the idea is that we took a major, Viparis, GL Events, venues, yes, thank you. Viparis, GL Events, and Accor Arena. And the office, l'Office du Tourisme, and Level 256 by Paris & Co. Am I forgetting someone? And of course, the City of Paris. I'm sorry for that miss.
But we both represent them. So.
Yeah, so that's okay.
That's okay.
And so we created a task force then to answer a specific demand from organization who wants to make major events.
Yeah, this is the key. We have to help each other. If we are all working on our side, I think we will be maybe competitive on a regional or national market. But if we want to put Paris on the map, and I think we are doing it now, thanks to, for first example, Accor Arena last 2 weeks, everyone saw it. We have to put our forces together because Accor Arena is different than Carousel, is different than Palais des Congrès, and if we mix and if we share our experiences, our problematics, because esport market and esport actors are not easy to understand. We have to take a lot from them. So if we have a collective answer, they will come, of course, and I hope even more.
Yeah, and it was. I'm sorry,
no, it's okay.
Just to add, it was not easy to
gather
everyone and say you're a competitor in France on the national stage, but now let's work together on international level.
And this
Yeah.
is definitely something we want to be inspired with, to decline that on other markets, probably, just to be more united. And I will present you what we're going to do that next. But and to both of you, maybe coming back to the mice industry, because I think this is very important also to share maybe the values that carries the esport, and it's probably a source of inspiration also for the mice events and everything. So you can definitely take some outcomes from that and some ideas just to be developed on other type of events.
I think I have two answers for this one. First one will be the way we are working or adapting ourselves to the public, because they have a way to consider the community as an example. So we have to see how to engage fans, to engage public, or to engage our business clients, thanks to a lot of innovative solutions. They are a model for innovating online on Twitch. We say that. So I think it is a key. The second one, they offer new perspective on cultural brands, technology, cultural ideas, innovative, digital. So if we mix together everything, we can really have a good approach, a good strategy on mice too. So it can be mixed all together.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on what you just said, and just I add some passion in that. Esports is all about entertainment. It's all about emotion. So when you watch a sports competition, you're just so happy when your team wins, and it's exactly the same. Even if it's counterintuitive when you say, okay, it's people watching people playing video games. That's not even. Is that real? Yes, it is. And the people are so committed. Is so deeply into their teams that it's all about passion and work.
Yeah, and they have original ideas. I don't know, with the waiting line, the way you can engage your public or your clients during the show, the way you can have a different scenography. For example, at the Accor Arena, they have a physical scenography. They did it for us too, but also a special digital one. So, and we are saying maybe, yes, it's gamers, it's gonna be a show just for gamers, with gamers. No, at the Accor Arena 2 weeks ago, and it's not our venue at the Accor Arena, but it was a concert, 2 different shows, activities, activation, and all mixed together. I think it's
during 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours.
No, but I think this commitment, this community engagement and commitment is really something which is key, which will be key in the next generation anyway. So we've got to take that into account, and even in a B2B business, this is really the case. So there are probably some good ideas to take over on that. So thank you to both of you. I don't know if there are some questions from online, or so that's not some gamers. We don't have any gamers here.
Yeah,
so.
But that's our job to teach you and to welcome you to any esports
We will
events.
invite you to an esport event so you can see how it goes. Thank you both. Thank you. And so to finish, of course, with the Olympics, because we will be hosting them in 2024. So you all know about that. So, but you know that our main values on that, just is sustainability. We're working hard on public transportation, greenest games ever, as we say. But it's also legacy, which is part of the sustainability, of course, and inclusion. It's how we can use, it's about 95% of infrastructure which is already existing. So we're not creating anything. But the idea is really to accelerate the development of actual infrastructure and make it open to the public for tomorrow. So this is really something very important for the city. And the other key thing about the Olympics that I would like to underline is that it will happen in the heart of the city. So on the contrary of others that happened before, the choice, which is not an easy one, but the choice has been made to make some celebrations and opening and everything in the city, using the Seine and using even the Seine for activities like La Nage en Eau Vive. I can't translate that, I don't know, swimming something. So, but it will be amazing. And so let's have a little look at that. We've got a little video of the opening ceremony that will give you a pre-taste of it. can see the lights in your eyes. So. So of course, this is not the only event that we will be hosting, because we've got quite a long way from since there till then. So of course, we have also the Rugby Cup in 2023, which is also a big event for us. We've got the recurrent event like Roland Garros, the marathon and everything, but I think sports is really part of the DNA of Paris actually, and this is something really we want to work about. So we will be very happy to share that also with you, but that means activities around sports and everything will be really at the top of the things that we can propose to all of you on the health of on the health stuff of the Olympics, of course. And we know that it is not so easy to work with all venues in this time frame, because 2023, like 2024, will be two very busy years on that. And so we created a special tool for you, which is Bienvenue 2024, Welcome 2024, which we kept the French word, Bienvenue, but we all know that, which is a sort of catalog of all venues that will be available, specific venues with some high-end criteria, like special views, monuments that are not open usually to the public and things like that. And so you can definitely take advantage of it. And so let's see how it works. So this is it. And so to continue to help you with all the events that are coming, all our teams are, of course, at your service with the region, and so Christophe will join me also for the conclusion, but we're working on some commitment from all professionals working with us. So all our major partners, I would say, have signed a sort of chart together, which is on hotels, on venues, agencies, and food and beverage, committing to the best service ever that we can have for you, delivering specific conditions with cancellation policies, payment policies, etc., trying to be the more sustainable possible and with a premium service, of course. So we're working very hard all collectively, like we were saying with the task force for the e-sport. We're doing that for everyone. So this is the goal till 2024, but we will achieve it. So Christophe.
Yes, thank you, Corinne. I think you deserve a big round of applause, because Corinne, for this show, I think.
Thank you.
I think we got our tourism Oprah Winfrey. I found out today. So congratulations for the What's Up Day. I hope it was very interesting for all of you. Thank you for all the guests that are here with us on the floor, and I'm sure you're gonna really enjoy what's going to happen this weekend. I mean, all that you've seen on the screen is what's going to happen in the next days. And so it's everything, as you see, is oriented towards sustainable tourism, new events. We've talked about Paris 2024, the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Let's not forget that in 2023 we have the Rugby World Cup that is going to be hosted in 7 regions, and including Paris and its region. So that's these big events, as well as the esports, which are, of course, probably the next generation big venues will yes, it probably will. And so hosting for the region and the city, all these big major events is key for the attractiveness of the region. So I wish that you all have a great stay here in Paris, and I hope I see you soon. And thank you, Corinne, because it was fantastic.
And this was the first What's Up Day, but we're going to make another one probably next year. So we will do it every year probably, but we're working very close, the city and the region on that, and that's very important also to have all you guys for that. So, but we've got to thank our partners. this is a moment which is important. So I won't quote everyone, but thanks to everyone who helped us with this tour, because that was not so easy just to manage and everything. So thanks for the team also at the region and at the Office de Tourisme. So the specific team that you will see all around in the next couple of days. The people who host us as Accor with the Pullman for the hotels, but also all the DMCs working with us with a whole tour that you will see also, and everyone who participates in the activities that you will discover tomorrow, which were very welcoming, and we're happy to welcome you all. So that's important also to thank all of them, and the people who are transferring everyone, so Ciao Ciao, for example. So thank you to all of you. Hope this was a good time for you. You learned something, and we're all at your disposal to answer any questions or specific needs if you have. So thank you. Je sais pas si je peux faire.